Hello, this is Patrick Welch from Noobie, and I have a quick question from you. Am I holding in my hand right now the Galaxy Tab or the Motorola XOOM? Take a look. Try not to read the writing on it. If you answered Galaxy Tab, lucky guess. Or you know your tablets pretty well. My point is, and I want to compare the Galaxy Tab to the Motorola XOOM today, they are, from an interface perspective and from almost looking at from the outside, they look very much identical, and they both run the Android Honeycomb interface. So while I'm using the tablet, I couldn't really even tell you if I was using the Tab or using the XOOM. Again, they both operate almost the same, identically as I'm using them. But from the actual feature set on them, there's quite a few differences. So let me take a minute to go over those. First of all, the Galaxy Tab does not have a native HDMI port on it, which means you cannot just take an HDMI cable, hook it up to the Tab, and then display the video on your television. The XOOM does have that native port. Now, you could get an adapter for the Tab and do the same thing, but natively it doesn't have the port. Same goes with external memory. There's no external memory card on the Tab. The Motorola XOOM does have a 32 gigabyte micro SD card for expandable storage. So a couple of strikes against the Tab there. Another one may or may not be a big deal to you. The camera on the Tab, the rear facing camera, is a 3 megapixel camera, where on the XOOM it's a 5 megapixel camera. To me, this thing took great shots even at the 3 megapixel. I did think that the video on the Tab looked a little grainy to me, and I thought it might be some kind of preview mode that when I actually shot the video it would look better. Turns out that's not the case. My video looked a little bit grainy as I played it back as well. So I'm not sure if that was a lighting situation or what. I was a little disappointed in the video. I don't remember being disappointed at all shooting video on the XOOM. As far as a couple of the plus things about the Tab, it is much lighter. If you remember when I reviewed the Motorola XOOM a while back, I said the first thing I noticed when I picked it up was how heavy it was. This feels more like the iPad 2 that I'm used to. The only difference is, even though it's the same kind of weight and feel of the iPad, the Tab feels a little weird to me when I'm using it, holding it in a portrait mode. It seems almost too skinny to me. I could have used a little more real estate on that. It works fine when you're using it in the landscape mode. It just felt I didn't quite like using it in portrait mode, which is ironic because on my iPad 2 I almost always use it in portrait mode. So there's a couple of differences between them. The prices between them seem to be right around the same ballpark. They're just like the iPad 2. They're in that $500 to $600 range. Of course, you can go way up if you get more storage and whatnot. One thing to note, the Galaxy Tab does have the 4G capability if you get that kind without not just the Wi-Fi. But if you get the 4G one, it's got it built in, where the XOOM is 3G, and there's a free upgrade you have to do to get to 4G. Other than that, the prices seem pretty comparable. If I had to choose right now between these two and throwing the price out the window, that was relatively the same, I would go with the Motorola XOOM, even though I don't like how heavy that feels in my hand. The features are just good enough on the XOOM and better than the Tab. If I found a really good deal on the Tab and I found it like $100 less or something, I probably could give up some of those features I talked about that the Tab doesn't have, that the XOOM does, and if I needed to rely on budget and I needed a good price on it. So there you have it. I would choose the Motorola XOOM over the Galaxy Tab.